Welcome back to Strongman and obviously Strongman hybrid boxing fans. Obviously on March the 19th, yesterday, we finally had the highly anticipated heaviest boxing match in history between 2017's World's Strongest Man, Eddie Hall, and obviously Hafthor Björnsson, 2018's World's Strongest Man. There's a nice little photo there to show the height difference, which is a bit more realistic. It's a funny edit that someone did on a group I'm on Facebook, so thanks for the edit. So we had Big Loss. He was one of the commentators there, so it's become quite staple for him now to be in all strongman related content. Then you had Bobby Jones as a fellow ex-boxer himself, and obviously then you had Big Mo as the official announcer. And the event was held in the Dubai duty-free tennis stadium, and obviously was hosted by Segi TV via Core Sports Worlds and was available for free. Originally it was pay-per-view, but they decided to make it free. So got a little altercation here that happened a day or two before obviously the official weighing. You know, you can tell obviously the guys will hate each other. Eddie looks ready to rock it out and ready for war, as was Hafthor. Very aggressive, but we know how these things go down in boxing. And let's face it, they haven't seen each other for a very long time in person, so naturally there was going to be some frustrations and anger towards one another and energy. So yeah, I wasn't surprised to see that, as I'm sure you guys weren't. And obviously it's all for the cameras, it's all build up the hype. This is how boxing is. So the official weigh-in was on St. Patrick's Day, March 17th, and 6'9" tall Björnsson, he weighed in at 152 kilos or 335 pounds, and the 6'3" Hall, Eddie Hall, he was stepping on scales at 142.2 kilos. So a little bit of a weight difference there, 10 kilos, give or take. But these guys have both dropped 40-50 kilos each since they started this whole boxing training. So it's crazy. They've basically, in weight combined, they've lost how much I weigh, which is 100 kilos. So it's absolutely crazy. But no, fair play to them in respect, cutting all that weight. I will say that Hafthor looks a lot better in terms of condition than Hall. Like Eddie, he still looks solid, like a unit, but carrying a bit more fat, I'd say, than Hafthor. Hafthor's definitely, in my opinion, trained a lot harder and dieted harder as well. Little standoff here, tables between them, COVID. Well, I say COVID, might as well be COVID, 2 metre distance, because these two just ready for war at any point. As you can see here, again, aggression and throwing things around. So anyway, back to the actual fight itself. So I've just compiled a little bit of footage for you. You can obviously watch it anywhere online. It was for free originally, like I said. You can, I'm sure there'll be people who put the whole thing on YouTube, but I've done a little review just so you can see the best bits, really. So the ring walk itself, Hafthor's obviously got his fair share of haters and lovers. He did get a mixture of cheers and boos. Obviously the crowd, it did seem, was predominantly English, so there was a lot of people chanting and in support of Eddie from the very start and throughout, really, to be honest. So a little bit of an advantage there, having his home crowd really rooting for him, but nonetheless that doesn't always mean you're going to perform well. So round one, Hafthor, very confident, clearly showed that he was going to take things carefully and was very tactical. Hall, as expected, Eddie was just literally like a ball and china shot, went straight for him, landed, a nice solid punch. And, I would say he was doing what I expected him to do. He wanted to just knock him out as quick as possible. But, Thor has trained a lot more and he's ready to take that sort of abuse. He didn't allow himself to lose composure and focus and just quickly create distance, because at the end of the day, Eddie's just trying to close the gap and try and get a nice uppercut or another type of power shot in there to take him down quickly. But that wasn't going to happen. Thor had a game plan, and despite being hit here and there and knockdowns, you'll see once or twice within the whole 6 rounds, it doesn't faze him. He still stays very focused and in the zone, and he actually boxes. Whereas Eddie, as you can see here, just wasting so much energy, and leaving himself open, and obviously that causes some cuts to the eyes. So going into the second round, obviously Eddie was a little bit hurt. Thor's got no issues with his face or body at the moment, no injuries whatsoever. Hall's eye obviously very quickly opening up from that nice solid punch from the right eye. But you'll see here in the second round, just coming up after this little segment here, Eddie really lands a solid shot. And then the referee has to make sure that Björnsson can continue, because, he just gets, look, you see, so he's held by the ropes and it's technically, technical knockdown. So he has to pause it and give him some time and ensure that he can continue. So after this happened, this is where Hafthor continues to start jabbing constantly to try and hold Eddie at bay, because Eddie's just constantly advancing, trying to get some sort of one-hit wonder in there. So, naturally with that reach, that Hafthor's got great reach, and his arms are so long, it does really help him to keep that distance, and that kept him safe. A lot of people say it's boring watching, and I would agree in some parts, but at the end of the day, he wanted to win. He didn't want to get knocked out, so he's gonna use his advantage there. With the height difference and the reach. Why would you just go into someone who's constantly trying to knock you out? That's all Eddie can do. Eddie had no skill or technique at all. Don't get me wrong, he had a few good hits here and there. He moved well at times, but that was before he started to switch his guard, right before, like his stance, right as he's closing down and going close to Hafthor, which is what you don't do in boxing. It was noted many times. What is he doing? It's just, I was watching this and I thought, at any moment now, the way that he's keeping his guard down, if you'll see, he barely lifts his hands up throughout the whole fight, and if he doesn't, he's got one hand to the side of his head. What's that about? We don't do that in boxing, and you're not Tyson Fury, mate. You can't be that overconfident. Doesn't matter who you're fighting. This is where we see a lovely hit there. Nice two jabs, and just takes Eddie down like nothing. But fair play to him, he gets back up straight away every time. Eddie definitely got lucky in that third round, and he was literally saved by the bell, so fair play to him there. But this is where we go into the fourth round and up to the sixth, and it's clearly obvious that these two are getting pretty tired now, and you can see who's in better shape at this point, cardio-wise and endurance, and it was definitely Hafthor. Eddie was tired, he was gassed. All he was using was his arms. He wasn't using any other part of his body throughout. He just constantly trying to use his arms and shoulders to try and get a good hit in, and it didn't happen. And as a result, he constantly wasted his energy, left himself open, which he did repeatedly, and got hurt, and then ultimately lost. So yeah, it definitely dragged out in the last two rounds, but Hafthor was playing the safe game, keeping Eddie away. He knew that he'd beaten him on points, and the points actually were scored by the judges. I believe 57-54, yeah, so it was a unanimous decision, and I'd like to congratulate Hafthor. I think you definitely performed as a better professional athlete. Eddie, I think he was more talk, definitely didn't back up what he was saying. I honestly think that behind the scenes, he was just overconfident and didn't prepare properly, whereas Hafthor did, and that clearly those exhibition fights and all the training he's had has benefited him, whereas Eddie just thought he could come with a one-trick pony, get a nice uppercut, and that'd be it, and game over. But that wasn't the case, and I think Eddie needs to sit back and really think hard about, what he did in preparation, and if there is a rematch, what he's going to do in the future, because it's not going to, if he fights him again, he'll just lose again, simple as that. But it was nice to see that he was a good sportsman, wasn't bitter, wasn't immature. Took it like a man, congratulated Hafthor, was cool with him, and just didn't leave him bad blood. And it seems like the two of them now finally laid all that bitterness to rest, and they can move on. At the end of the day, it is what it is, it's over. So yeah, we'll see what happens in the future. I don't really want to see a rematch. I don't think anyone else does. Everyone just wants them to shut up now and move on and crack on with else what they're doing in lives. Maybe go back to strongman. We'll see. So just quickly, obviously with the Iranian Hulk and Martyn Ford, that was really scheduled for early April. It has now been moved to the end of April, April the 30th. So we saw that brief encounter with these two, with the silly little exchange there. And we actually saw the Iranian Hulk is not big at all. So clearly it's been obvious that he photoshopped himself, and he's not how he looks. So it's going to be an interesting one. I'm pretty sure Martyn will destroy him, but we will see, because many people thought Eddie was going to take Hafthor, and he didn't. So who knows? I would like Martyn to win though. I'd hope so, but we will see. Anyway, guys, hope you liked today's video. If you did, as always, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, I'll see you all soon. Amigo and Finis, signing out.